Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's Zoom call. Everyone, if you can mute yourself until sometimes recording it makes a funny noise if everybody else is not muted. So tonight we're kind of excited about tonight's topic because it actually kind of started from I was in Plum Market, which is just one of our local markets we have up to stores. And I saw thieves in there, and it was at the top shelf. So I talked to the lady and was inquiring a little bit about it or whatnot. And I think sometimes in this business, we forget that there's so many avenues to share. Sometimes we go through our warm market and then we get stuck, and we're like, I've talked to everybody. Now, what do I do? But the reality is, people are asking for bonus. And sorry, and if we think outside the box, there's so many ways that we can expand our business, boost our OGV, and reach more people. So tonight we are going to talk about getting into local businesses.
Can I add really briefly to that? Just in thinking about it from the aspect of also how to approach and talk to professionals and other business owners, so that you're speaking in a language that they understand. So we're going to touch on that as well. I didn't mean to derail you.
No, that's it. That's all I had.
So, and then we have a few leaders on the call this evening who will be able to share some of their experiences and they found to be beneficial. So if you didn't have anything to share yet, I'll go ahead and start and share with you guys just a little bit on my take on it. I'm gonna go ahead and mute. Give me 1 second here, guys. Let's do all. Okay. All right, there we go. Can everyone still hear me? Thumbs up. Okay. So I think it's. Oh, I didn't even start with our oil yet. For some reason, Palo Santo was calling me this evening. So that's the oil that we've chosen for the night. So if you have Palo Santo, feel free to go ahead and put it on. But that's the one that we're going with.
So why Palo Santo? What's the benefit of Palo
Santo? Well, I was asking if we had White Angelica, which we did not, for fighting feelings of negativity. And so Dana aptly informed me that Palo Santo does have White Angelica in it. And no. Oh, okay. Well, Palo Santo does not necessarily agree with me. I kind of don't like the smell, but I feel like it's something that my body needs. But let's go with Palo Santo for tonight.
Well, it helps with negative energy and negative thoughts.
Oh, that's what you were saying.
So okay. We're refocusing. As this might be difficult for many people to approach big businesses and companies and things like that. So we want to get all of that negative ideas and that negative thoughts that we might have of our own self-doubts. Yeah. So Palo Santo is an empowering oil.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood you there. I'm sorry. But yeah, so to kind of touch on that, because one of the reasons that this is important is because in this business, we're only limited by how we view ourselves and our own inadequacies, so to speak. But the nice thing about being in network marketing is you can make up for those, but it's not always the easiest thing to do. You do have to actually put forth the effort and do certain things to overcome those fears or feelings of inadequacy, especially when it comes to talking to professionals. And I know a lot of times that includes like medical professionals, business owners, because for some reason mentally we kind of freeze up because we feel like this person already knows it all. What possibly could I tell them that they probably don't already know, or what value do I have? This little person who's walking around with maybe their bag of oils and a dream in their heart, so to speak. But the reality of that is that's not necessarily true. A lot of these individuals who run businesses, or maybe they are practitioners and they run some type of practice, they're human just like you and I. And so the reality is not everyone is going to know everything about everything. And so even when I know when I was doing some research for this call this evening, when I was thinking about like practitioners, and people automatically assume, well, they've been to medical school, they must know everything there is to know about oils already, and if they're not using them, they've just chosen not to use them because they know everything, or if they are, then I don't have any value to add, and that's just not true. um, Especially more recently, essential oils are becoming more popular and people are starting to hear more and more about them. But even people who have been in Young Living for years do not know everything there is to know about oils. And so, what your job is to do is to share that with them. Share that there are ways, natural ways, and better ways to assist what they're already doing. So, I'm going to give some keys, I guess, on how you can do that without coming off as salesy, and then we'll open up the call and allow others to share their thoughts on that as well. Especially when you're approaching medical professionals. I know one of the things that was mentioned that's very very important is um, they hate cold calling. So remember that this is a business about relationships. And so even though this person may not be a close personal friend, like if you are not a patient of this medical provider, or you don't have any type of common link or connection, most likely they're not going to give you the time of day. They're going to treat you like everybody else who calls them up out of the blue and says, hey, I want to set up an appointment. I want you to check out my product. It's just not going to be captivating. There's no relationship there. And so you have to, when you're going through your list, remember that you want to look at, who do I have a personal relationship with that's in a business profession, and who in my team or my downline or my network, um, who has relationships with maybe someone who's in the medical profession that I might be able to set up a one-on-one to help get oils into their offices. So remember that that relationship is very very important. The second thing that was brought up is just how you approach it. So if you are already a patient of this physician, you can ask them flat out, hey, are you using essential oils in your practice? And if not, are you using them at your home? And then be quiet, let them answer it. You don't necessarily have to tell them all the benefits of oils. Most likely it's going to come up if you're going to your doctor's office and they're asking you, what are you taking? um, Jot down that you're using essential oils, and when they ask about them, just tell them what you use them for. It gives them a little bit of education without over explaining, because there's tons of research out there that's available. And so the angle I guess that you can hit it from is, if I could I bring back maybe some samples for the girls up front, and maybe drop off a diffuser, let you use it for a few days in the office, and drop you off some research. Because most of the time, even though we feel like people in the medical profession already know everything, they may be more research oriented. And even if they don't know, they're probably more apt to research it than to take your word for it. So give them the information, and then allow them to do with it what they're going to do. Um, we talked about last week follow up, and why follow up is so important, because that's actually where you get the payoff for all of your hard work. But one thing to be careful with is, I know sometimes that we might get excited and feel like a person might be perfect because this falls right into their lane or their avenue. um, but just follow up and get a yes or no. Don't badger them or continuously email, Facebook message them, call them over and over like, hey, did you look at the research yet? Did you look at the research yet? Do you have an answer? Are you going to get your oils? Because they are busy. Most people who are running businesses, or if they're running a practice, their time is very valuable. And so if they have not gotten a chance to look at it, just be patient. Allow them to that allot them that time to be able to do it in their own time frame. But you do just want to make sure that you follow up and you've done your end. It may take months or even years for them to finally come around, but you want to at least make sure that you're doing your part and sharing that information with them. And then lastly, one of the things that I didn't even think about until I was doing a little research for this call, was show them the residual income of having a young living business and why that's so great. One of the videos that I listened to was from Dr. Jim Bob, who was talking about his practice and when he hurt his knee, or broke his femur, I'm sorry. And so he's been confined to a wheelchair for almost a year. And so he literally could not practice. And so for an individual like that, if they're not touching people, putting their hands on people, and actually physically doing something, then their business is not making money. And so show them the aspect of the residual income with this business, because the residual income allows them to continuously make money whether they're there working it or not. And if a person owns a business, most likely they might have a business mindset, and that might click for them and give them something that, regardless of whether the product is, they may not even be interested in oils at all, but maybe they're interested in the residual income. Show them what's possible through the use of that residual income.
And I will say this just to add to that, most business-minded people understand and have multiple streams of income coming in. Like they get that whole aspect of it, that you don't put all your eggs in one basket, period. You always have multiple things going on.
Yeah. So I know that was huge for me, because I just, that's something that didn't occur to me. I just was thinking that you just would want to approach it from getting product, and product is great. And, you know, you do want people purchasing their oils. You do want people on essential rewards, but sometimes we overlook the value of that residual income and helping them to appreciate that, you know, if something happened to them today, their business might not function tomorrow. So what is your backup plan, or what is your other plan of action to continuously make sure that you make money? I know Dr. Jim Bob was talking about when his family wanted to take a vacation, and I think they wanted to go to Disney or something like that. The trip itself was going to cost about $5,000, but they also had to allot for the time that they were going to be away from their practice. And so in his mind, he's like, we really can't afford to take this trip, because they would have lost $9,000 for the 3 days that they would have been gone, 3 or 4 days. They would have been gone from their practice. So I know there are a lot of people that feel that way. They don't take much time away, even though they may need to or want to, because they literally cannot afford it. A practice or a business has higher overhead, and part of what we're offering has low overhead, and so that's something that may appeal to them as well. So just think about those factors as something to offer out there. I'm not going to talk a lot tonight, because we do have other individuals on that would like to share their experiences, so we're going to open up the floor at this moment if you don't have anything else to share. Okay. So we're going to open it up for those that have either had experiences in dealing with businesses, or getting oils into different businesses, or dealing with medical professionals, or any professionals in general. Now is the time. I saw somebody's hand went up. Was that, oh, Aisha's hand went up? Go ahead, Aisha.
Well, I'm right now going through physical therapy and things like that, and I have a awesome doctor. He's really cool. I've seen him twice already, and I told him about some of the the pills I was taking. He was asking me, what are what type of vitamins are you taking and things like that. And I told him I was taking the Immune Booster, the Inner Defense. I'm taking that one. And I brought it to him and showed him everything that was, well, actually, no, I didn't have it with me, but I looked it up online and showed him everything that was in it. And he was like, oh, that's wonderful. Um, he says, I'm not going to tell you that, it's not, I'm not going to tell you it's not going to help you, but it's not going to harm you. He said, I love that you're taking that. And he said, I do oils also. He said he does oils also. And he said he will look into the company and everything. And the next time I come back, to make sure that I bring the bottles in so he can look at it more.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, you know, that's a prime example of dropping samples off for those in the office to take advantage of. And he's going to do his research. And what is he going to find? He's going to find that Young Living has the best oils on the planet. So regardless of whether he's using oils or not, it's definitely something he should take a look at. He should take a look at the research that's been done. So very good, Aisha. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Anyone else who is on the line that has an experience that they've had? Monica, go ahead.
Monica, you're still muted, baby.
Let me see if I can. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Am I on? I think I got it. Okay, so I actually took Tashina's advice and got into Meetup. For anybody who doesn't know what Meetup is, that is a place where a lot of networking groups will post their meetings, and you can connect with people that way. So I got involved with a local business networking group, and got connected with a chiropractor there. And actually now he is my chiropractor, but it was after I already had taught some classes there. But I just was pretty direct with him. It was a, business event. And I said, my goal is to connect with some chiropractors in the area and teach free classes for their patients. And he thought it was a good idea. We went ahead and scheduled it. So he still has the kit in his office displayed with the diffuser and everything. And there's at least a few patients that have signed up with him. But it really meant getting out of my comfort zone to get involved in that group. Because you have to stand up and do like a little 60-second commercial. I, had to really valor up so I didn't throw up the first time. But yeah, getting out of your comfort zone and just, like, this is what I have to offer and can we talk about it, is pretty much what I did. And there's some other businesses in the area that I'm going to try the same approach with. It's going to have to be a cold calling type of thing, but dance studios for moms that are sitting there waiting for their kids during the, dance lesson and whatever, helping them just learn about oils. That's going to be my next step. And yeah, I'm going to have to really valor up to do that too. But yeah.
So that's excellent, Monica. You kind of hit on something that completely slipped my mind that I wanted to mention earlier, but even the avenue of teaching classes for not only the physicians, but for their patients. And from the aspect of not necessarily always having to teach a class that's an intro to oils class. Because remember, a lot of times we're talking form and function. And so the nice thing is if there's a specific class that you want to teach, like on, let's say, immunity, especially this time of year, how to support your immune system, that's a great way to get in front of these individuals' networks and to not only get the physician the information, but get the information to their patients or those within their network. So that's a great thing to do as well that you kind of mentioned, Monica, is teaching a class, also offering to teach a class, at a physician's practice. So great suggestion, Monica. Thank you for sharing. Nikki is on the call. You had an experience that you wanted to share. Go ahead.
Hi guys. So about, I guess 3 weeks ago, we did a vendor event at the bridal show. And from there, I was able to get in contact with a couple owners from businesses. And we actually did go in one night and talk to the owner of Unique Lady. And she was really nice and really receptive to everything. We just have to really check back with her. She did have a lot of clients that night. That it was really, really busy. So we'll go back early in the morning and check with her when we have more time. But also, when I was in the hospital recently, I had my pain cream with me, of course. And I showed it to my doctor, who's a oncologist, hematologist. And he was like, oh, this is great. And he like started reading the ingredients and seeing what was all in it. And he was like, oh yeah, this is really, really good stuff. So I was like really excited that he said that. I was like, oh, cool. Like pat myself on the back. But I really think that getting into businesses is a great thing. And I don't know, Monica, instead of cold calling, that you might be able to go sit in the waiting room a couple of days a week and see if you could just talk to some of the moms.
There you go. Good suggestion.
But you have to have a lot of stress away.
So,
All right.
So thank you for sharing that, Nikki. So the interesting thing about that too, that sometimes we don't think about is dealing with professionals like even in that scenario, the nurse or the physician or the doctor that comes in to visit. I know from when I used to work in the medical field, we would be on our feet a lot. And, you know, so when you're working long shifts and you're on your feet, you know, you need things to help you get through the night. So even some suggestions like I love my pan away and my deep relief, especially if you've been on your feet for a very, very long time. If they're working the midnight shift, hey, try some of my peppermint oil to help give you a little perk, help you wake up a little bit, or tell them about Ningxia Nitros, something that's going to benefit them as the person and the individual, but also benefit their patients and people that they see. So thank you for sharing that, Nikki. That's a great suggestion as well. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to add something real quick. So along with Monica talking about the dance, so actually tomorrow I do have, it's a setup where I'm bringing my oils, but it's for my children's swim class. So the last Monday I had, of course, oiled up my kids after they took a shower from swim class, and I put animal ointment on them. And so everybody could smell it. So I had about 3 or 4 different moms asking questions about it. And so they were like, oh, well, bring your oils. We want to smell them. We want to try them out or whatever. So I'm going to try to do it like Shannon Hudson style, like give out applications and be like, here, fill this out or fill this out. And then show them the oils. But that's supposed to happen tomorrow. So again, just taking advantage of certain opportunities.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm going to try to attempt to read that. Hey, you have to bear with us. I don't work this mobile app too well. Kate, I will find it. Bear with me.
All right. While you're doing that, I'll go. So just to reiterate some of the things that you guys said, I think it really is key, that relationship. It just treat it like everything else. Honestly, pull out your hundreds names list. Like, don't like feel like you're gonna abandon talking to other people and this is like gonna be a golden ticket or something. Pull out your 100 names list, add your doctor's name, add your dentist's name, add all of those people on there, and remember to use and mention your oils when you go there. And then what has definitely worked for me is the networking thing. So I'm a part of 2 chambers. I go to meetups. I do networking after work, which costs $10 and is awesome because they actually give you a label stating, I'm in the healthcare field, I'm in automotive, I'm in construction. So you can get labeled and go straight to those people. And so at the end of the day, though, it's going to be just like anything else. Just like Anthony was saying, that you got to educate them as much. A lot of times you have to educate them on the business. If anyone has read the cash flow quadrant from Robert Kiyosaki, yes, they have a business mindset, but they have a self-employed business mindset if it's one of those little places that is not a franchise. And so they have to be educated on the business. They have to be educated on the oils. So at this point in time, I have a local pharmacy. And when she, places her orders, she places $300, $400 orders. She stocks up oils because she uses them in compounding her actual mixtures that they do for the medicine. When the holiday catalog comes out, she orders, she's got it on display, but she does have a retail mindset, so it's not like there's a whole bunch of volume. She's just one other person on my team. I've done classes at the water place, the local water place. We used to have breakfast networking. That person is also on my team. So I do have a few people, the businesses, and all those people were people that I met either through a chamber or a networking event. And it was just like any other conversation. I'm sitting down, I'm eating, we bond, we like each other, we make an appointment just like any other one-on-one. So definitely is an avenue, definitely expand your list that way. And one day, somebody might find a Jim Bob, but he actually sat on his kit for 8 years. He needed education too, so.
7 years.
Because nobody followed up with him. Didn't even open it, so. But yeah, it's definitely opportunity out there. So again, get out your hundreds of names list and keep calling all your friends. If you haven't gotten through your 100 names list, but add your doctor on there, add your dentist on there, add your mail person on there that needs some Panaway or some pain relief cream on their feet. Just use professionals in order to expand your list for sure.
Yeah, I call that the chicken list. The individuals you're most afraid to approach, start with those because it'll gradually get so much easier as you make it through your list. So very important. And then Tashina, you touched on something that was important, is setting the one-on-ones, and they don't have to be long. You don't have to take your whole kit with them and show them all 11 kits, the ninja sachets and everything they get. You can drop off information and just give them something brief, because most of the time they don't have, maybe more than 5-10 minutes. And so, set up that appointment. Don't make it a long drawn out thing. Just share what you know and allow them to do their own research, because really that's what's going to be the determining factor. All you're doing is just sharing the information. There's nothing you can say, nothing right that you can say to the wrong person, but nothing wrong that you can say to the right person. So just remember that as well. Kate, I finally figured out how to read the chat, which is very sad for me. But so Kate was talking about a friend of hers who she knows it works in the medical profession as well, and she needs oils, but she's not sure how to approach her about it. So one of the suggestions that I would give is just, I know if she's anything like I was, anytime that someone asks you about work, it's always negative. Trust me. It will always be like, oh, work was so long, or let me tell you about these crazy patients I had to deal with, or my feet are terribly sore, or I'm super tired. And to me, what I hear is, boom, need. There's something that we have that you need. So be a friend first, obviously listen, but there's, if she's talking about the crazy patients at work, oh, well, have you tried Stress Away? Oh, Stress Away, what is that? And she might even think that you're playing. What is Stress Away? Oh, Stress Away is a bottle of oil. Here's a sample, try it. You need this. And let them know that it's something that is going to help in the system in that area. You're coming from an avenue of trying to help them more so than help yourself. And so I think they'll genuinely appreciate that if there's something that you can do to enrich and make their experience at work less stressful. And anything else, nurses talk, so it can spread like wildfire. So that's what I would suggest.
One just last thing I did want to add, I know Cindy couldn't be on the call, but I know she is good friends with a doctor that actually owns a restaurant, a vegan restaurant. And so that's another avenue that she has been reaching out to. She's sat down with the bartender. They've been looking to add oils to their mixed drinks, as well as interested in bringing in Ninja Red. So that could be another place that you could start thinking of. Where do you go to lunch? Where do you, hang out? Where do you have drinks? I mean, again, we have a whole Vitality line of oils that no other oil company has, so they are specifically labeled for dietary. So just kind of think of all of these different places that you might be able to make connections with.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Someone had something there.
I wanted to respond to what Kate said. I would just gift it to her in a little sample size bottle and put a sticker on it with the name of the oils. And if they work, she'll come back to you and tell you. And we know they're going to work. So
There you go. Number one reason, if someone asks you why do you use oils, is because they work. It's just no amount of. For me, I know that I'm a researcher, but I mean, you can't deny that they work. You know. So with that being said, great call. I appreciate everyone's
Yes,
interaction.
this was awesome.
Zoom is telling me that I need to upgrade our account or get off in a couple minutes. I recently ordered it. I'm reading this again, and I figured out how to do it nice and fast. Guys, bear with me one moment. I too lost it. Again, and to the dance teacher. Aisha, we'll answer that after the call because I don't want to shortchange you. But I also don't think that the call will last long enough to answer it. But with the last couple of minutes, does anyone have any events or anything that they
Mastermind
would like to...
starts next Sunday.
Yes. So Mastermind call, 8 weeks, is it, Tashina?
It's actually going to be 3 months. It's through the end of May because it is the Star to Executive Mastermind call. So our goal is to, if you are a senior star and above, you need to bring somebody from your team on this call so that you can get to know Vital 180 inside and out. And any person that is starting, get them from star to executive in this next 3 months. That is the goal of the call. And so the idea behind a mastermind is to get all personalities together so that you can share ideas and share tools. So like we mentioned on last week's call, we know that Vital 180 is very geared towards the red-green analytical personality. It has a lot of information for extroverts. With the mastermind, we want a lot of the introverts to bring what's worked for them, what other tools that they use to share that may be better than what's on Vital 180, what challenges we are having, and the accountability. The huge part is going to be the accountability. So the assignment from this week, if you have not gone through Getting Started training on Vital 180, get through Getting Started training and make sure you make a phone call to someone in your team so that they are on the call next week.
All right.
Sounds
good. So we look forward to seeing everyone when that starts next week. So next Sunday, same time, 8:30. We look forward to seeing you guys as we start the mastermind. And by the time we finish, hopefully everyone will have ranked up as we head into convention season. So we'll see you
and
guys.
I'll post the schedule too. I'll email it out and put it on the group as well.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Tashina. So to then, we'll see everyone. Take care, and we'll see you guys all. Oh wait, one more.
we're doing a essential oil spa party the Sunday, the 25th of February.
Yes. 2
Okay.
p.m., right? 2?
2.
Yep, 2 p.m.
So there's that avenue as well. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you guys off. Lastly, anything that anyone wants to, any events or anything anyone else wants to share? If not, we'll close the call out.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye,
All right.
guys. Thank you, everybody.
Everyone take care. We'll see you guys.